cannot afford to pay for their school fees. Then they take pictures of the children and write their ID information, date of birth, which grade or nursery they go to, and the name of the parents, and send them to us in Denmark. Then we find sponsorship for those children. When we coming here, as we are here now, then we pay for them. But for the shipment, the container shipment, it is sponsored by the Danish government through the foreign ministry and through Danida renovation and shipping grants, just as I mentioned here. They administer the accounting and paperwork. So it's between them and us, from the government to Danida and from Danida to us, all the charity organizations in Denmark. And the Gambia Friendship Society is one of the biggest charity organization to Gambia in Denmark.
Well, how do you determine which child to sponsor and which child not to sponsor? Or is it determined by the sponsors there back in Denmark?
Yeah, normally it's determined by our sister society board members here in the Gambia. Because we are in Denmark, we cannot know if Ibrahim Abalde's child is a needy child or Mr. X's child is a needy child. But with the help of the sister societies, board members, and some of the school headmasters, then we can be able to trace the needy ones. And normally when we come to, we normally go around the schools. Then some parents or teachers, they come to us and try to ask for help. And we make some kind of interview with them to know if they are really needy. Then we still take the information with us to Denmark and look for sponsors.
Okay, before leaving you, Mr. Hamadi Vincent Ba, Chair of the Danish Gambia Friendship Association, there is a phenomenon in the country, especially as regards to children in the country. A lot of them now are suffering from debilitating illnesses, life-threatening disease or illnesses that have been inundated in the news media, the mainstream media. Kids who need medical assistance to be flown out of the country. This is a phenomenon that has been going on. I don't know what is your institution or association doing about this, in case kids, can, be taken to Denmark for treatment or other places by providing their medical bill.
What I can tell you is that when we come back to Denmark, we will try and consult the authorities and explain to them exactly what's happening. Because normally we don't send medicines or invite sick people to Denmark for those purposes. But the Danish people, they are very, very, very good, and they always like to help people, especially here in the Gambia. Probably there might be the possibilities, but I cannot guarantee that.
During the course of the year, a number of our colleagues have been going through training geared towards exposing their horizon on journalism and communication. Famara Fofana recently concluded a training program coordinated by the Paris-based TV channel Canal France International. Weekend Spectrum spoke to Famara Fofana about the course. So Famara, what was the focus of your training?
Thank you very much. Before I get into the nitty-gritties, let me say I'm very proud and thankful to Grts for the trust and confidence bestowed on me in selecting me or nominating me for that very important program. First and foremost, the first leg, which took place in Nairobi, Kenya, centered on writing, that is the writing of reports and production of films, documentaries, etc. We was also opportune to have a practical or theoretical session on camera work. Although we are producers, but by the very nature of our work, we work very closely with cameramen, and as such, we direct them on some of the films that we want them to shoot for us. So basically, writing was the main focus of and we also did some exercise on editing.
Well, Famara, that is training to actually die for. And I'm sure you also had the opportunity to meet your other reporters from other countries?
Yeah, about 6 people were drawn from English-speaking Africa, and the other, while we were having our training, those from the Francophone countries were also having theirs. Yeah.
You wrote a mini documentary about plastic waste.
Yeah, in fact, while we were in Nairobi, we were all tasked to come up with an urban crisis. You will recall that the training itself is part of the AfriCity Summit, which was hosted by Dakar, and this summit itself was focused on some of the urban crises, affecting African countries. And you will agree with me, plastic
waste is
a major development
crisis.
conundrum for a country like ours. So, there was no better option for me to look at plastic. Plastic bags are arguably one of the most used manufactured items in Banjul, the capital city of the Gambia. Because they are relatively cheap and easy to handle, many people, especially women, depend on plastic bags for their daily shopping and other business needs.
Plastic bags are very essential to my business because everything I sell here is put in it for my customers, and without it my trade slows down. Almost every person except the elderly demands a plastic bag whenever they buy from me. Very few people now depend on baskets to do their shopping, as plastic bags tend to be the most ideal and discreet containers for them.
No one would dispute the value of plastic bags to both individuals and households, but their widespread and/or indiscriminate use is posing a big challenge, if not a menace, to the authorities at the city council, as well as environmentalists.
The rampant use of plastic is causing a very, very big problem in the city of Banjul. So we are having a problem with this plastic waste because most of the time we have importers who only import plastic bags. So people think that it is the most suitable carrier. That is, they buy these plastic bags whenever they go to their shops, despite the fact that even they can buy things without using plastic bag, but still they will use the plastic bag.
If the plastic is not properly managed, when there is flood, at the end of the day, everything is going to be flushed into the sea, and they will end up settling on the mangrove vegetation. And these are places where you have, fish breeding. You understand? So plastic can have a potential impact on the fish, as well as other creatures that are, available there. And the fact that this particular dumping site is just a stone throw from where these habitats are, all the creatures that are here are greatly, are kind of, vulnerable to the risk factors that are involved.
This is a very big problem on the other hand, especially in terms of disposal. I learned plastic can cause cancer when used to light fire, particularly by women. In fact, my husband has stopped me from using plastic bags to rekindle in a coal pot. I am appealing to my fellow women to explore other options. It's a bad practice.
So in the face of growing demand and heavy dependence on plastic products, what strategies are put in place in the Gambia to curb what is now becoming an increasingly worrisome scenario?
Those who are importing this waste, that is the main importers of plastic bags, those selling water, are not contributing enough to help reduce the problem. So we are going to see how best we can force them, if possible, to contribute enough money so that we will make sure that if like I say, if it is not phased out, let it be reduced, because we know it is a real problem.
National Environment Agency has been concerned with this. Recently, we have, called all the stakeholders in the plastic sector together to kind of, come up with an ideal solution to the problem. If the strategies that we have in place work for, the plastic that is being produced in the Gambia and the one that are being imported into the country, to be cut down drastically. So that's one of the strategies we are dealing with. And in that, we are targeting those who are into water selling, those who are selling water, using water power plastics. We are targeting you know, those factories that are processing forms and any other thing that, you know, that deals with plastic. We wanted to kind of embark on a massive sensitization